Watch Dogs Legion. That is the game I'm playing. I just struggled about 3 different times to say that title correctly, but here we are. I've paused because we're having a good conversation in the chat about representation in games. Jedi Psychic says, so many folks I know have been so impacted by feeling represented in the games they play. It's such an important issue. A friend saw their first disabled scientist as a background character in a game and literally had to stop to cry over just how good that representation felt. We've been doing some work at Undead Labs at trying to teach ourselves at how to get better at representation and also accessibility. The way that I think about accessibility specifically, the way that that I think about accessibility now is that every game is about accessibility. It's always about at least I'm not going to say every game, but lots of games are about the idea that there's a character who can do things that I can't do, and the game is giving me the ability to do those things I can't do and live the life that I can't lead, vicariously. And so I take a controller and I can become this magical hacker who can do all these crazy things. In real life, I can't do that. In real life, even rudimentary hacking is out of my reach, but I can do it in a game. And so this game is taking this experience I can't have, and it's making it accessible to me. And so really the step between me and somebody who has a mobility issue or somebody who has limited vision or limited hearing, taking one more step to make the game accessible to that person, that's a much smaller step than the enormous leap between me and the person I'm playing. So that's one aspect of games we've been trying to get better. We've been inviting people to the office to teach us things about how to really understand what it is that people who are different from me need from games. And so one aspect that's one aspect of the gaming experience for different gamers that we've been trying to learn from. But another set of questions we ask those same people who are teaching us about accessibility is also representation. How should we represent say a deaf character in a game or a blind character in a game, or as you were mentioning, Jedi Psychic, a disabled character, somebody who maybe has mobility issues. What's the right way to represent them? And we got a variety of different answers, and for some people it's like, it's really good to see someone represented well. It can actually be a bad experience to see somebody represented ham-fistedly and poorly or made into a caricature. And so a lot of the feelings that folks expressed was, if you're going to do it, you need to do it well. You need to do it right, because people who live with a disability, or people who have an identity that is often misunderstood or mistreated, they get very accustomed to the experience of being misunderstood, of not really feeling like the representation of themselves in art is you can sort of build up a lot of sort of maybe annoyance. Annoyance feels like it's a trivial word for what I'm trying to describe, though. It's like it's sort of a built-up negative feeling about like, just this is another reminder that people don't understand me. This is another reminder that I don't belong in my society, and that people here don't really feel right about me or understand what my life is like. And so when someone gets it right, the contrast with the normal experience is so great that, like you said, Jedi Psychic, somebody could even cry and have an emotional reaction to seeing it go right once, because it goes wrong so frequently, and that can be a challenge for because I've got one particular experience in my life and it's very difficult to sort of fully step outside that and fully understand someone else's. And so it's like I've got this ambition, this idea that I want to create games that when someone sees someone like them represented in the game, that it feels right, that it feels like, oh wow, they really get me. But that's hard to achieve, and so usually what you need to do is involve a lot of people in making the game from a lot of different backgrounds. And part of that is hiring. Part of that is making sure that the the community of people that's building the game is broadly representative of a lot of different a lot of different identities, a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different life experiences. So that you can, there's a certain number of bases you can cover just by having a team that's diverse. But you can't possibly, especially if you have a very small team, you can't possibly cover all bases that way. And so you also have to sort of cultivate a set of players and play testers, or if you're in some other medium, like audience members who can give you their perspective. And even if you can't achieve a broadly universal perspective yourself, because that's impossible for any one human. You can trust other people and rely on them to sort of to give you their perspective, and then really listen to them. And a lot of times the experience you're going to have is you do something that was well-meaning and they tell you it was wrong, and that can be an unpleasant experience. It's hard to be told that something you did that you meant well with made someone else feel bad. You want to fight. You want to say, no, you're wrong. You're wrong for telling me that. And actually, because I felt good inside when I did it, that meant that what I did was right, and you need to be quiet. That's a very easy reaction to have, and you feel very justified when you have that reaction. So you have to cultivate a very open-minded sense of, it is like expecting yourself to be wrong about a lot of things and being ready for it, so that when that happens, your emotional reaction is not, no, you're wrong, but rather, oh, interesting, I hadn't thought about it that way. And so I tried to do like the one area of the game where I felt like I did have the opportunity to the one area of my game of State of Decay 2 where I felt like I had the opportunity to try to do that was in the naming system, because I was responsible for trying to come up with a name list from for characters representing a lot of different cultures. And one thing that I felt like was kind of a limitation in State of Decay 1 was that the name list, we had randomly generated names, but almost all the names were from, like, it felt like it was from one small town in Pennsylvania. It felt like that was where all the names came from, and they were very homogenous. And even though the characters looked like they came from a variety of, like, say, racial backgrounds and cultural backgrounds, their names were all the same. And so I felt like one thing we really needed to do was, if we're going to show a character who appears to come from a certain cultural background, then we need to have a name that feels true to life, that where somebody who shares that background with them hears their name and goes like, yeah, that could be somebody from my hometown, that could be my cousin, that could be whatever. And there were a couple of different areas where the research that I was doing, like, revealed things that I didn't know. I didn't know, like, there's an elaborate nicknaming tradition in Mexico, where a lot of the names, the familiar names that Americans are used to hearing, that derive from Mexico, you don't actually realize that, like, I believe that, like, the nickname Nacho is short for Ignacio. I think I might be getting that wrong. It might be a different name, because I wrote a lot of them down and then promptly forgot most of them. But, like, there's all of these connections where, like, there's a like Paco, for instance, is short for something that does not sound anything like Paco. But everyone in Mexico knows these connections, and they know that if somebody has a certain first name, there's certain nicknames that you tend to give that person. And there is sort of a linguistic connection that if you understand Mexican Spanish and if you grew up in Mexican culture, you immediately understand how all these names fit together, and it makes perfect sense. And it's very easy for some random, like, white guy from the United States to completely misunderstand and not understand any of it. And so luckily I have a colleague who was originally from Mexico, and he helped me vet all of my name lists, and he made a lot of suggestions, and we sort of collaborated on a name list that would feel authentic to someone from Mexico. We did that with a lot of people, a lot of different name lists in the game. I actually have a friend who was from Southeast Asia who actually introduced me to the idea of these sort of these special nicknames that derive from Southeast Asia, where someone will have a nickname that has nothing to do with their given name or their last name or any trait about them. It's a name that's given to them from childhood that they use their as a nickname their entire life, and it's kind of it's at least to somebody who doesn't know the tradition, it feels like it's pulled out of the ether. But it's a long-standing tradition there to have those kinds of names as sort of like little handles that you use your entire life. And it's got a particular name, and I've forgotten what it was now. But the point was, my hope was that somebody from Mexico playing a game who runs into a Mexican character would feel like, oh, wow, that character's got the right nickname. I didn't realize that a game that was made in the United States was ever going to get that right. And similarly, somebody from Southeast Asia, I'm hoping that they might play State of Decay 2 and see, that naming tradition being used and be like, oh, wow, they got it right. And I'm hoping that they have that sort of, like, elevated sense of, yeah, they got it right. Now, I think it's entirely possible. In fact, it's likely that there are many places where I got it wrong, and that there are people who they look at a character and they have kind of a bad experience with the way the names worked. I hope that the former experience of getting it right happens more often than the bad experience. My goal was to make the good experience happen, and my goal was to try to make it happen for people for whom that effort never happens for their particular cultural background, where they rarely see games where people like them are represented accurately. So my hope is that we created more of the positive experiences than the negative experiences, and we vetted these name lists by a lot of people to try to make sure that was the case. But it's hard to be sure. It's hard to be sure you're going to get it right, especially when you don't have personal knowledge of a lot of that stuff. But anyway, so sorry to sort of go on this gigantic digression, Jedi Psych Tricks, but I appreciate you bringing up the topic because it's something that matters a lot to me, and so I kind of wanted to blather about it for a second. So anyway, so Wolfo says, that's how I felt in school because I was forced to drop out my senior year because I couldn't get help in school that I needed. It's like there's so many like bad experiences that people have because someone looks at them and doesn't understand the experience that they're having. And basically it's very easy as a human being to just assume that everyone's like you. If I work a certain way, that means that everyone else must work a certain way. That's a like just and it doesn't have to be about these like prominent like cultural differences or identity differences that people talk about all the time. It could be something as simple as personality. Like for instance, for me, I'm a very talkative person. Like the way that I think involves a lot of talking and a lot of expressing myself. It's hard for me to solve a problem without talking through the problem out loud, and so that means that I talk a lot. And it makes me, it means I can fill dead air on a stream. It means, it makes me good at certain things. But it also means that when someone who doesn't talk automatically hears me talking, like somebody, for instance, who goes through their life not doing a lot of talking by automatically, where they only talk when they really have something important to say, something they feel really that they've really thought through and that matters to them. If somebody only talks when it matters to them and they hear me talking constantly, it's easy for them to get the impression that I think everything I say matters more than what other people say, and that I am so full of myself and that I just love to hear myself talk so much that I think I'm just more important than anyone else, and that I'm very stuck up and that I'm very full of myself. It's extremely easy for someone to get that impression of me because of the way I talk. And it's not because one of us is a bad person. It's not because they're closed-minded about me, and it's not because I, am actually this very full of myself person. It's just because each of us is imagining as though everyone else is just like ourselves. And similarly, like when I see somebody not talking, it's very easy for me to assume, well, they must have nothing to say. If they're not talking, if they wanted to say something, they would say something, because that's what I do. Whenever I want to say something, I talk. And so if somebody's not saying anything, that means they must not want to talk, and so I can keep talking. It's very easy for me to imagine that their brain works just like my brain. And so while it's easier for them to judge me unfairly and make assumptions about my personality because they see me talking, and they wouldn't do that unless they had something very important to say, so I must be some weirdo who thinks he's the most important person in the world, it's also very easy for me to misjudge them and think, oh, if they're not talking, they must have nothing to say, therefore I can just keep talking and steamroll the crap out of them and make them feel like they're not welcome in the conversation. And so that kind of stuff can just happen all the time. It happens all the time just between different personality types, even leaving aside even some of those much bigger, more pronounced differences between cultures and different, identities and stuff like that. This is a very big problem to solve, and I think one of the most important things that a person can do, just trying to become a civilized, mature adult, is to start to recognize how different people really can be from each other, and how different my own perspective, my own life experience is from somebody else, and be open-minded enough to realize if somebody else seems to be uncomfortable, seems to be struggling, seems to be just different from me in some way that I don't understand, my first assumption should be they're having a different experience from me. I should listen to them and find out what that experience is like. Okay, anyway, how long have I just been sitting here talking to myself? Not to myself, obviously, I'm talking to the chat, but to people watching this later on YouTube, it looks like I'm talking to myself, and it looks like maybe I'm full of myself and all I want to do is talk. So I guess we should play this game.
Fascist regime installed to scare the people into submission.
So we have to ignite the will to resist in the people of London by showing them that Albion aren't the solution. They're the problem.
For that, we'll need information. I'm pushing 2 sets of coordinates to your optic.
Cheers, Bagley. I've identified 2 opportunities. One, we're going to disrupt some Albion propaganda. Remind the people it's not Albion's way or the highway. 2, we need intel about Albion operations if we want to throw a spanner in their plans. You game?
Absolutely. You tell me where and I'll stoke the fire, Sabine.
Brilliant. Let's get the people of London on board.
Okay, so I think my plan for right now is I do want to play at least one other game before I quit tonight. So let's play through one mission of now that I've taken up most of the time in this video just talking about all kinds of weird stuff. Let's play through one mission of this game and get a sense of what it's actually like to run around in this open world to pursue missions, and then we'll put an end to it and we'll try something new. Lady Arian points out, by the way, she says, it's okay to talk a lot, but don't forget to listen. And that is sort of the thing. It's like, when I naturally talk a lot, it's very easy for people to feel like I don't want to listen to them or I don't care what they have to say. And that is not the case in real life, but I understand why they would feel that way. And so I have been trying more often to consciously, when I've been talking for a while, shut my mouth. Actually, sometimes I will physically cover my mouth just so other people know that it's their turn to talk and that I want to listen to them. And that I'm not just, the fact that I talk a lot does not mean that I don't care what they have to say. I think that one thing I am expecting from this game is for a lot of the themes we were talking about earlier on in this video, I think are actually relevant, even though I spent way too much time having that conversation and not actually playing the game. I think it is relevant because I feel like one of the underlying themes of this game, at least what I expect from it, is to be showcasing the diversity of different human beings who can contribute to a cause like this. I mean, obviously, we're talking about like a weird hacker dystopia, weird cyberpunk near future. It's not real life, and the things I'm doing are not going to be realistic things. But I feel like a lot of the message of this game is likely to be something about how it takes a wide variety of very different people to really make something great happen, to save civilization. That's what I'm here to do, right? I'm here to save civilization from an oppressive autocratic regime. I'm also here to destroy as many trees and obstacles as I possibly can. But the way to do that is with everyone, and I feel like that's going to be one of sort of the underlying themes hinted at by the mechanics of this game, is that the guy that I was playing at the beginning of this game, Dalton, he's sort of your typical video game hero, right? Like a suave, adventurous, stubbly white guy. But that's not what this game isn't about. Singling out one particular identity. It's like, this is the type of person that will save the world. This game is about making you realize that everyone collectively is what it takes to save the world. Everyone, kind of regardless of their of their background, of their skills, of what sets them apart, what makes them different. It's not in spite of those differences that they're able to accomplish things. It's because of them. It's because they're not just that very typical video game hero. Anyway, okay, so restricted areas. They're dangerous, they're marked on the minimap, and trespassers will be attacked on sight. I need to scan and reveal scouting opportunities. I can use, you bounce around from cameras to drones to figure things out. And then I can use stealth to avoid combat. I can crouch. And captains, people with those, you can't really see it very well, but people with these shields above their heads, I can call in reinforcements if they detect me, so I need to eliminate them before they can. All right, got it.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So Albion have turned judge, jury, and executioner. We can all kiss any chance of a fair trial goodbye.
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
Okay, so we've got camera up here. Okay, so it looks like we want to get over there. What are my options? Okay, look, this is the room I want to get into. how do I open these doors? What's this? Okay, maybe this is the thing I want, but to use it I have to get through these doors, and to get to the doors I have to get past the guards. So the question is, I can't tell how to open this. Is this something I can just walk up and open, or is it connected to something that I need to... Oh, okay, there's a red line. Okay, so that red line is leading down here. Is this a generator? Oh, that took me further away than I meant to go. I can still sort of see the red line, but I'd like to get closer. Maybe this camera's closer? Okay, the red line is going that way. Okay, back to this one, but now... Okay, over here. Okay, so... Here's my problem. Where am I? Okay, I'm over there. Okay, so I need to get to this panel so that I can unlock the door that's upstairs. And meanwhile, there's a zillion guards around here. What else? Is there anything else I need to know? Is there another route upstairs that doesn't take me past all of those guards? It feels like there's a lot less guards up here if I can figure out a way to get up high. But I can't... I mean, I can see the main staircase right there, but I gotta be like way out in the open to use that sucker. Is there a way in on this side of the building? Okay, yeah, it looks like there is, and yeah, this side may be less well guarded. Okay, so that's gonna... I think that's gonna be strategy number one. Of course... Huh. I don't know if I can open that very easily. Oh, but... Okay, there we go. That's just a gate for cars. I can... There's a pedestrian entrance. Okay, so I think what I want to do is get to the complete opposite side of this building. And I think from the opposite side of the building, I'll be able to get in undetected. I love this. Let me just say, I love the fact that, you know, like, I was intimidated by those guards, and because I was intimidated by the guards, I felt like I needed to look for another solution. And then the game gave me the tools to try to look for another solution. And now I'm pretty confident that I've got a good idea of how to approach it. I don't know if I'm right. You know, it could easily be that my plan here is actually terrible, that there's something I'm missing. But that was really empowering to feel like, you know, I have the ability to think my way through this problem and not just walk out and you know, beat people in the face and, you know, and hope I win like a superhero. I like feeling like I can actually win like a hacker. All right, so I'm not sure. I felt like there were fewer guards on this side. I don't know if I'm right about that. Okay, so that's pretty clever, showing me that I am in a dangerous place by having me put my mask on. Okay, so I don't know if these characters would have showed up if I hadn't used the cameras. I feel like maybe they're highlighted because I used the cameras. Okay, so yeah, there's like a commander type down there. I forgot what they called them. Okay, wait a minute. I forgot. Why am I headed towards the stairs? That was a bad move, because my first goal is actually supposed to be to hit up that that control panel down there. Now, I think I needed to take that guard out no matter what. Ooh, wait. What does this control? I'm not sure. Still not sure. Oh, the car gate. Okay, well, maybe that'll give me a way out later on. But no, it was... So the... Oh, yikes. The red control panel was on the opposite side. So it's I'm headed in the right direction now. Question is this character going to turn their back on me naturally, or am I going to have to distract them? It looks like they turn their back naturally. I probably don't need to do this, but I'm betting my character's got a little bit of a grudge against Albion. So I'm just going to assume that she did that for pleasure and not out of necessity. And I think that is probably just fine. Okay, so dangerous territory down here. This commandery type is definitely still here. I don't know how easily I can be seen when I'm up above them. I'm assuming there must be some threshold. Okay, so we've got a couple of characters watching. Okay, they're facing away right now, but I can't leap this. Oh, that's frustrating that I can't leap that obstacle. Oh, I can leap this one though. But this is a glass wall. That's not how you stay hidden. Okay, now I'm here. Okay, a person can see me. How do I get not seen? Okay, yeah. So I was curious. I wasn't sure what kind of sight range they have. So it looks like they can see me from halfway across, or from all the way across the courtyard, but just not very quickly. Okay, so now I've unlocked the door that I needed. So I wonder, can I climb up the way I came? Yes. Where are you? Okay. So I've already cleared a path up here. I'm actually kind of inclined to go this way just to see if there's any other guards upstairs that could accidentally be alerted when I come in here. I wonder if I unlocked both doors or just one of the doors. Okay, wait, burrow opportunity, collect evidence. Is that just what the mission is right now? Okay, so it looks like, yeah, it was both doors. And this is my goal right here. And is there more stuff I can do? Is that some kind of collectible? Okay, yeah, it looks like I'm just... this data section here in my head, it looks like it's... These are like 1,000,000 collectibles. Oh my gosh, how many of these are going to be? There's going to be a lot. There's going to be a whole lot. I'm not going to listen to them all. Okay, so... Is that it? So now do I...
A list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God, bar your doors.
What the hell?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards... Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This list can actually help us find like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
Oh, it's reminding me that I've got a gadget. So I actually could have made myself invisible during some of that. But I didn't, because I didn't need to. I don't need this technology as a crutch. I am a badass human being all by myself. Because it looks like I could have done these two missions in any order. That was a really good one to start off with, though, to give me a good impression of the game. I was a little disappointed by the fact that I couldn't jump over every obstacle that looked like I should be able to jump over it. And that is a challenge, though, because a lot of times you have to really manually mark up those things, and the more complex that the artist makes it look to make it attractive, sometimes the more difficult it is to mark it up in a way that the characters can climb over it in a way that feels useful. And so it looks like there were a couple places there where I felt like I needed to be able to climb over something, or felt reasonable about wanting to climb over something and couldn't do it. So that was the only part of it that was kind of a red flag that kind of didn't feel that great. But I'm also very aware of how difficult that problem is to solve. Oh my gosh, have I just Austin powered this vehicle? Hey guys. Yeah, thank you. I wish they had an animation for getting out of the way of vehicles that was not a reaction to being hit by a car. At least that's kind of the way it looks. Alright, so it looks like there's some activity over here that they want me to get involved in.
All units, possible suspect or suspects.
Oh, yikes.
Near your location.
What have I done?
Approaching with caution. Over.
No, 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 no. So I guess I didn't realize that arrest was going on until I got way too close to it. So,
Control, I've lost the target.
nope. Apparently, okay. So apparently, I just need to stay out of sight of Albion type people until. Okay, yeah, you can see my little alert meter charging down. Okay, so
Returning to HQ. Over.
this time we're going to be more cautious and hit motorcycles. Okay, we'll be more cautious. We'll pull up and we'll park further away.
A reminder that any modifications or installation of illegal programs to your optic is a punishable offense. It compromises your security and the security of others.
Okay, so looks like, was that just a random event over here? Just the people being arrested, and it was not actually intended to land in the middle of this mission? And did it just randomly despawn when I left? Or did that cop chase after me and that's why it went away? I'm really not sure. I just kind of drove away as fast as I could. Okay, so I can hijack this, I guess? Oh, there's a camera on the other side of it. Aha. So there's... Okay, so it looks like I probably need to get up here if I wanted to face this sign. So then the question is, how? How do I get up here? It looks like the roof is a little bit lower down that direction. Yikes. Okay, what? Okay, yeah, it looks like on this side of the building, through that gate. Yeah, okay. Note that when you're switching between cameras, it always does that little zoom move. It's, you know, that's to make sure you actually understand where all these things are going on in the 3D world. You can keep your orientation. Again, I love the way this game has you do reconnaissance. Like, I now have a kind of a vague sense, but, you know, a sense of where I'm going and what I'm doing in advance, despite the fact that I've never been here before, because I was able to scout it out first. Okay, so I was assuming it was going to be possible. Yes, okay, good. Can I do this? Nope. Can I climb this? Nope. Okay, well, from the cameras, this looked like a possible way up, but I am less convinced now that this is a way up. Sarnathium says, I hate big hoop earrings, but other than that, you look noms. I'm not sure what noms means, but I'll take that as a compliment. All right. Oh, wait. What's this? Oh, that was the camera I was using before. I love how, like, I'm obscured on cameras. Like, it's showing me how I'm able to get around in this hyper-surveilled world without getting in trouble all the time. Okay, so, yeah, so I imagined there might be a way up here, but I'm not sure that's... Look at that graffiti. That's crazy. All right, so I am trying to get up here. I imagined that where I am would be the way to do it, but maybe it's not. I don't know what other way there would be, though. Because, I mean, yeah, this awning, I mean, yeah, it looks like they're deliberately arting it out so that I know I can't walk on it. I wonder... There's a ladder on the back of this car. Oh, I can't do anything. Okay, I thought maybe there'd be some kind of control that would make the ladder extend or something, but I guess it doesn't look like it's that kind of ladder. Okay, so maybe this spot isn't right, but... Oh, what's this? Oh, it's just an exit. Can this camera... Okay, so I think those are the two cameras that I've been using already. Here's a camera I haven't used yet. Can this tell me anything? Well, this building's got an interior. Maybe what I need is the interior. Maybe there's a way up, like a proper way up, that I haven't bothered to find yet, assuming that there was a back way up. What? What, I can't... Oh, fast travel? Oh, is this the tube? Oh, okay. It's the underground. So, Zarnathium asks, you didn't play Watch Dogs 2? I played a little bit of Watch Dogs 2. I did not get very far. I was in the middle of a bunch of other games I was interested in. So I wasn't able to get very far. Okay, so, I feel like this is not going to be a great video if I'm not able to figure out how to do a basic thing I'm supposed to do. Here I am even assuming that this is what I'm supposed to do. I mean, getting up there on top of this place. I mean, maybe that's not even what I'm for. Maybe I've misunderstood the point of this mission. I'm assuming that what I'm here to do is get this thing. It does, well, no, it does have the icon over it that's saying it's my objective. And it feels like this is the kind of thing they would do at the beginning of a mission, right? At the beginning of a game. They would make you climb something. They would make you show that you've learned to climb. Oh, wait. Oh, this thing's familiar. I've seen things like this. I'm really surprised they are not holding my hand through this. Can I hack this thing? 'Cause I think... Yeah. I think maybe... Oh, I think this might be an unlockable skill, being able to extend these. Because if this thing lifted me up, I think I'd be in exactly where I wanted to be. But I wonder if maybe the fact that I encountered the police and had to run away might have messed up the series of events that's supposed to teach me how to get through this problem, because this is a weirdly, like, it's weird that I'm not being handheld through this. Like, I'm kind of used to AAA games putting a lot more effort into just showing me how to do a challenge for the very first time. Yeah, so Joseph Gill is saying press the middle mouse button on the left. So I'm not playing on PC, so middle mouse button isn't going to be it. But I'm not seeing a prompt to press LB on this to hack it, and I didn't get a prompt to push Y on it when I got close. And so maybe it's glitched. Maybe I've just got a problem here, and I'm not going to be able to complete the mission right now. I wonder if driving away and driving back would make a difference. Like, because a lot of times something like this will, you know, in an open world game, things will spawn and respawn and sort of reset if you put some distance between you and them. So maybe I'll start there. You'll notice, for instance, the car that I parked here is gone. So the game aggressively despawns things that it doesn't need. Oh, interesting. Zarnathium suggests trying to hack it from a camera. You know what? I'll give that a try. Let me grab a camera and then grab this camera. Can I hack it from here? Oh, interesting. So tapping LB doesn't do anything, and it doesn't have a prompt on it telling me that there are actions available. But maybe it doesn't need maybe the prompt only appears when there's an automatic action I can perform. But if something's complex like the lift, and I have to choose which action to perform, it doesn't give me the LB prompt. That makes sense. So maybe, okay, well, I need to be standing on it to use it, so let's get back over there. So maybe I can still use it just in person if I just realize that I need to hold LB. There we go. Up. really still surprised that I wasn't taught how to do this. But again, encountering those police early on, that was probably why. I probably disrupted the tutorial at that point. And I can imagine that somebody's gotten a bug on that and they probably just looked at it and despaired because there was not a good solution with the tools they had. I've had that experience so many times, I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happened. Some tester ran into this situation, bugged it, and they were like, we're about to ship and we don't have the tools to fix that, so hopefully very few players encounter it. Yay, tech points. Okay, well, I'm up on... Oh my gosh, is this going to be another dead end? No. Okay, wait. I can go this way. Okay, cool. And then this way, I guess. This is a very complex roof that this building has. I'm jealous of video game characters and how easily they can climb gates. Hold A to automatically jump gaps. Woo. There we go. And interact. Keeping you safe. We shall never surrender. We are DedSec. Ooh, we increased the defiance of Camden. And we got some Ito.
Yes, nicely done. That'll get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark that they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
So what now?
Oh. So I was only going to play a short mission.
We're already seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion. We reached out and he's got information that can help us. I think you should meet with him.
Send me those location deets.
Okay, so I was only going to play a couple of missions, and I think that this does give us a good sense of the kind of gameplay that's going to be in here. I wanted to get onto something else tonight, and I spent so much time just talking at the beginning that I did spend a lot of time. So I've already been streaming a couple of hours, so I think I'm going to cut this short. But I think we've got a sense of what's really interesting about Watch Dogs Legion as a as kind of a unique open world game is how much power it gives you to sort of like explore and plan, and sort of. There are some games that sort of give you a lot of physical power, to make you feel like a hero. And this is a game that actually gives you a lot of informational power. It gives you a lot of knowledge. It gives you a lot of intelligence, and makes you feel like you're dominant over your terrain in a very different way than say Spider-Man. And so I think that's what makes it unique, makes it stand out. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's like to sort of explore all the different characters you can recruit and expand out from there. But I'm not going to be able to do it tonight. So let's switch over to the end screen, and this is some very loud music. Let's tune it down a little bit. Get off my lawn, children, with your loud music, your rock music, and whatever. I'm an old man. So anyway, we'll wrap this up and we'll go try something else before we call it quits for the night.